Peace and blessings, family. Big peace to you, family. I thank you for another great live, and I appreciate you for earlier. We were discussing some family matters, and for those of you who saw it, I truly appreciate you um, for tuning in. Today, family, today, we getting right into it. We're going to be talking about some great stuff today. First of all, family, my name is Brother Yahya. Guess I could turn my fan off. It's not completely warm in here. But yeah, family, just my name is Brother Yahya, and this is Buried in a Shallow Grave, where we discuss matters that matter to us. Right now we're on the subject of systems and strategies. We're talking to small entrepreneurs, and we're talking to small entrepreneurs about opting out of the old model. Opting out of the old model. So I hope you brought your pen and paper because we're gonna have a great show today. Okay? If I had a title for this show, family, I would name it Break the Mold. Building our own system. Break the mold. Building our own system. And family, our goal today is simple. Our goal, family, is really simple. We want to equip small business owners, small entrepreneurs, especially in black communities, with the mindset, the tools, and frameworks to identify economic and not just economic, but geographical gaps and build sustainable and independent systems. Okay, that's what we're talking about. And as you can see, I got nothing but time. Okay, so let's get into it. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, family. So let's start with some truth. The traditional economic system, it was not designed with black entrepreneurs in mind. From banking, redlining, even to the lack of access to capital. The barriers are not accidents, family. The barriers that we face are truly not accidents. And because they're not accidents, we need to talk about it. We need to identify what they are. If they're not accidents, then what are they? They're structural. But you don't need to wait for the old systems, family, to change. You don't need to do that. You can't build waiting on another system to get right. You can build your own system and make sure you build it right. Okay? Now the module is about recognizing where the old model fails. I'm sure you saw it in the description bar. Thank you, family, for tuning in. And if you did see it in the description bar, then and these are my stress balls, man. I barely get to use them, but this is a perfect time for me to be able to use these. So if you hear them, that's what I'm doing. Thank you for tuning in. This is your brother Yahya with another episode of Buried in a Shallow Grave. And I got a free module for you, and it is in the description bar, and I will leave another one in the comment section after this video. All right. And what is the model? What is it that I'm trying to share with you? The model that I'm trying to share with you is about recognizing where the old models fail us, and we want to design new systems that serve your community. and we don't want to exploit our community. That's what we don't want to do. We want to spot the gaps. How do we do that? We spot them like this. The first step, family, is we want to step in building something better and understanding it a little better. So the first step in building something better is understanding what's broken. We got to understand what broke it in the first place. So let's talk about it. The financial gap that we have. Limited access to bank loans and credit. Is that right? How many small black business owners out there are limited in their access to bank loans? Limited in their access to credit. How many of you have higher interest rates for black-owned businesses? How many of you? High interest rates. High interest rates. Anybody? I know I can't be the only one facing these issues. We have a low presence of black-owned banks or even cooperatives. So we need to start tracking where and how we're getting our capital. Are you relying too much on predatory lenders? Are you being rejected for credit, despite your good credit, despite the years you've been doing good performing? Is that you? Black communities often do a lot of renting. We rent a lot of stuff, and we're limited to the access that we can get stuff. So the black communities often rent what they could own, like homes and stores and land and tools. This limits equity. It limits equity building and long-term stability. Is that right? Talk to me. So what's the action we need to take? We need to take stock. We need to take stock of what we rent that could be owned collectively and shared. And we need a shared delivery, something like a shared delivery van, commercial kitchen space, or office, where everybody is operating together, but we all pulling our own way. We're going to have to do it. Many entrepreneurs don't get access to business education, networks, or insider opportunities. You hear me? Many of us don't get access to that in business. And so the action that many of us are taking today is we're making a list of skills and knowledge. And the skills and knowledge that we can self-teach. And what I'm telling you is we need to start thinking like that. We need to think about how to formalize. And we want to formalize it for others in our circle. We need to adopt new systems, but we have to have a new system mindset. System thinking means seeing beyond the hustle and looking at the ecosystem. Do you hear me? We're building for interdependence, not just independence. We want to be interdependent on each other in our community. You don't have to go alone, and you don't have to go at it alone. You need allies, you need suppliers, you need customers, and co-builders. Let me give you an example, okay? A black-owned grocery store, now I'm just using this as an example, could partner with local black farmers, herbalists, delivery drivers, chefs, to create a closed loop. That's that gap I was telling you about. We're going to close that loop in the food ecosystem. Okay? Old systems operate on scarcity, family, gatekeeping, and individualism. Your new system doesn't have to do that. Not just because we're trying to be better than somebody, but because we actually don't have that in our nature to be like that. That's someone else's characteristics, and we'll let them have that because we see what it's doing for them. Their world crumbles under the foundation that they built for themselves. And now that we're coming into our time, we don't have to do that. We don't have to mirror the corruptness that we've seen. Your system does not have to do that. Thank you for tuning in, family. This is Brother Yahya with another episode, a live episode of Buried in a Shallow Grave. This is the Ressurection class. And right now I'm offering you a module, a free module. It's in the description bar and I'm going to put it in the comment section. And right now I'm just going over it. I'm going over the module that I'm going to give you and that'll work for you because it's already working for so many other people. The only other thing is people had to pay for it. You're getting it for free. Okay, so we already know now we gotta prioritize, our collaborations over our competition because that's our problem. We're too busy competing with each other in our community versus us collaborating with each other. We cannot go on to be that next level of success if we're going to stay in the competition with each other. Okay? We got to go to the next level. We got to go to the next level. And it's not our fault. We're learning who we are. We got to design with cultural values too. We see what they do with our culture and how they market us. We don't want to repeat anyone. We want to design. And to be a designer means you come up with things that no one else has came up with before. And we want to design with cultural values in mind. What kind of cultural values? Trust, reciprocity, transparency, being able to be seen and understood and read well so that you help the business that you're collaborating with. We're focusing on long term, not short term. We want long term wealth, not short term profits. Okay? So, what's a cooperative, Brother Yahya? What is a cooperative? What is that? Is that even a real word or did you make that up? No, family, that is really a real word and it exists in business and I'm trying to offer it to you for free. And so for those of you who want to know what is a cooperative, I'm going to tell you. You ready? A cooperative is a business owned and run by its members. Members meaning more than one. That's a cooperative. And to explain it a little better, everyone shares profits. Everyone also shares the risks. Everyone also shares in the decision making. Okay? So what are the types of cooperatives, Brother Yahya? You have all types of cooperatives. You have worker co-ops. You have consumer co-ops. The worker co-ops are owned by the workers. The consumer co-ops, they're owned by customers. And then you have purchasing co-ops. This is where business pooling, this is called buying power. So I just named you 3 co-ops. One of them is the worker co-op, the one who's gonna get in there and get this stuff together. One of you, has, you know, a cow farm and you're determined to have this restaurant. So now it's five of you. And one of you has a potato farm. And so now you got someone with steaks and you have someone with potatoes of all kind, cow meat of all kind. You may have someone with a vegetation farm. So here we got three different people that are workers. This is the worker co-op. They're owned by the workers, right? So all of us get together and we get in this kitchen. We go in on the kitchen together. Now look, one of y'all carrying the steak, one of y'all carrying the mashed potato, and one of y'all carrying the vegetable. Okay? Then one of y'all got the homemade Kool-Aid. Whatever it is that you create. My point is that we need cooperatives in business. If you want to go to the next level, it is very, very important to start thinking about becoming a cooperative. I've named to you three of them. You have the worker co-op, the consumer co-op. They're owned by the customers, right? So this is, we're going to get into that. And then you have the purchasing co-op. Businesses pooling their money and they gather it in such a way that they have buying power. Buying power. Okay? So, and this right here, it benefits everyone. It keeps wealth circulating, number one. Nobody's losing money. The only thing you losing is your fear of distrust, your fear of becoming successful, your fear of growth, your fear of evolving, your fear of building a system, your fear. See, it's fear. Fear restricts you from becoming a master. And whenever you let fear override faith and truth, you can't go to that next level. It's very, very hard. You keep stumbling and going backwards. It's okay to evolve, family. And it is okay to have fear. But when you face with that fear, are you going to run or are you going to face the fear head on? Some of you fear trusting other black businesses in your community, whether they're very, very small, medium small. We have a distrust of our people. And we covered this and we covered how to overcome that in a previous class. And I hope and bid that you go and get that. As you can see, I'm not just talking on here. I'm actually offering some real information. I say that with confidence because I spent a lot of time watching and watching and watching, and I wondered, what could I do? What could I offer? Who am I talking to? What need do they have? What can I do to fulfill that need? How can I create a system around that? What are the tactics to get there? I've done this. I've done this. So, we on. And another thing, it benefits, family. And if you like what you're hearing, family, tap that like, share, and subscribe button, family. I'm telling you. Tap it, tap it, tap it. And share this video with your cousins, your friends. Share it with your family. It builds even democratic decision making. And you got to understand, we need to be able to get together and listen to each other. If we're going to go into this restaurant business together, I got the steak, you got the mashed potato, and he got the vegetables, then we got to now sit down and figure out how we're going to, what's our goal? What's our goal? What's our goal? Who are we feeding? Where are we going to put this place? How are we going to serve it? How can we keep wealth circulating? So, and us doing this to collectively as a as someone who is a cooperative, then it even lowers the cost of doing business, because now you don't have to do everything. You have someone else to help you with the lights, the water, the trash bill, all of these things. And you might say, well, what if they don't hold their part? We can talk about that too as well. It's no different than if you would do it with a white person. What if the white person you did it with didn't do their part? What would you do? So the same thing that you would do over there is the same thing you do over here. Start small. Start very small. And just remember to stay consistent with whatever you do. You don't need 100 people. You need 2 to 5 serious people with a shared goal. That's it. You might, like I said, have the steaks because you got the cow farm. And they have the potato farm. So they got all the mashed potatoes. And the other one, they have the vegetable farm. So now y'all need to strategize on how y'all can become, cooperatives and share the responsibility of business. Share the responsibility of system building. Am I making sense? Okay. Like I said, you don't need no 100 people, family. You need 2 to 5. 2 to 5. And they gotta be serious. They gotta be as serious or more serious as you. And you do not have to get along with them. And you do not have to like them. And you do not have to want to be around them as friends. This is business. We're building a system here. Okay? We can talk about even how to deal with people that you love the way they do business, but you don't like them as a person. How can you overcome these obstacles? We're going to talk about that as we go along, but not today. Okay, so now we need steps. We need real live steps. We don't want to talk about it. Show me what you're talking about, Brother Yahya. What are the steps? The steps to start a micro co-op. First, number one, and I don't care who you are. If you're a black person and you're in business, a hustle, a hobby, this is for you. Number one, identify a common need. What's the need? Everybody's hungry. Yeah, everybody hungry, but everybody wants a place that they can go to feel welcome. And they love the customer service and the politeness of the waiters, and they want to feel like they went out to eat but they really stayed at home. See, you're offering something more than just food. We talked about that also in a previous resurrection class. We need to form a working group with clear values. What do you value? What do you want the most out of this? What's your aspirations? And we need to get legal because we're going to need to be legal. So we need to draft an operating agreement. And that'll settle that fear that you have. You're afraid to do business with your brother, but if you did it with white folk and they didn't do you right, what would you do with them? What steps would you take then after they've done you wrong? Well, why are you afraid to do that same thing over here with your brother that want to do business with you? It's because you've been conditioned to fear growth in your own economy. You've been taught to depend on someone else for everything. Even when you were a child, the videos you watched of ABC were done by people that didn't look like you. You had one man and Reading Rainbow. And when we saw him, He lit up our day. You see, you don't have any, your fear, it don't come from you alone. You were taught how to fear what you don't understand. And you don't understand yourself. So why would you want to do business with yourself? We have to learn how to even pool initial capital. And I know those are big words, but pooling initial capital, small, reoccurring contributions. So it's almost like tithing, tithing in your business. It's almost like, you're taking out an extra proportion of what you already pay your rent, this, that, and the other. But you take out this extra contribution, this reoccurring contribution to the cause of what you're doing, that business that the three of you or four of you have come up with, and that contribution is like a tithe to kind of keep that safety net over what you're doing. Because most of our problems is we don't have a system in place when we run into problems. And so that safety net is a part of a system builder process that we all need to incorporate. Straight up. What am I telling you? I'm telling you we're going to use our profits, some of them, to reinvest back into our business for the longevity of our business. Now, I'm not just doing this. All three of us, the one who got the potato farm is doing it, the one who has the vegetable farm is doing it, and the one who has the cow farm, they're doing it as well. We're all taking not just our rent money, our light bill, and all those things, all that, the expenses that we have to pay to take care of the cow, the farm, the potatoes, the vegetation. We're not talking about that. We're talking about some of that extra little chip over money that you want to go and spend on that new Gucci purse now that you're in business. We're going to use profits to reinvest and grow. It's very smart, very wise. It'll set you up for later to be able to spend that money on that Gucci purse. Because once you built a big enough safety net, you will be able to spend the money like you want without having to worry about your business if you run into problems. Now, some of you passed up and said, man, what's the problem with, traditional capital? Why you don't like traditional capital? Venture capital, venture, venture, capital, often ignores black people, black founders, black banks. It gatekeeps. Grants are competitive and inconsistent as a program. You cannot deny that. So we have some alternative models that I'm going to give to you. And you can get all of this in the module that I'm going to leave with you in the comment section, and it's even in the description. Okay? Crowdfunding. Crowdfunding. Use platforms like Fund Black Founders, Kickstarter, GoFundMe. Use them and use clear, impactful goals. Okay? You know how to leave goals on there, right? They have to be impactful, not just begging. I have another one called peer lending circles. Peer lending circles. These groups contribute monthly and rotate, and it gets larger over time. And it rotates, and who gets the lump sum? It rotates. We have a community investment, which comes from neighbors, co-investors, and they co-invest in real estate or business projects. This could even be you, those three. The man with the cow farm, the man with the vegetation farm, and the one with the potato farm. You three could do it. This all goes back into you, actually taking out, use your profits to reinvest and grow. That's a part of that as well. So we need these community investments, and we call them like community investment trusts, and it could be anybody who sees what you're doing and wants to help you do what you do. But transparency, family, builds trust. Make your financial structure so trustworthy. Make your financial structure very, very public and easy for people to read and to understand. Don't don't slick talk no one. Just be honest about what you do, because it's gonna really help you in the long run. Don't just build for today. Don't just build for today. Build for the next crisis. Build for the next pandemic. So, in order for us to do these things, man, we really need to build up a better digital structure and infrastructure. And I'm not excluding, but I'm gonna just point out some things that help me. You gotta own your email list, man, and your website. Not just social media. Use open source tools where you can, if possible. And you want to train your team in the tech basics. You just need them to know you know, how to build the basics uh, in tech. You don't really need you don't need all of that extra stuff. We need some mutual aid networks. Whoa, what is that? What's mutual aid networks? Mutual aid networks ain't charity, family. It's just it's solidarity. It's solidarity. It sets up systems for like emergency cash support, food, supply swaps, shared legal and accounting help, and so it's really good to have a mutual aid network. Okay, we need crisis-proof operations. What does that mean? We need to have offline plans if the tech fails. We're living in a time where Wi-Fi and services that are offered to us are like the power head of everything that we do. It's the system god of everything that we do. And without Wi-Fi and all these things like this, man, if we just lost it right now, half of us wouldn't be able to email, we wouldn't be able to do this, we wouldn't be able to do that. So we need to have an offline plan just in case our digital tech fails. We need to be able to drag it offline and be able to still keep our business flowing. We'll talk about that later in our resurrection class. And you need to train you 1 to 2 backups for every role in your business. Every key role, the one that is the heart of what you do. Just in case you can't show up, you get sick, you have an accident, you need trained backups. This is why it's good if you're in a family business to bring your family inside your business with you. It benefits you, it benefits them. And we got to diversify our revenue streams. We can't keep investing in the same things, expecting different results, family. Okay? It's enough t-shirts. Don't get me wrong, we can keep doing that. But we got to move out of that too as well. We need more books. We need more black encyclopedias. We need more something else. We have so many gaps that need to be filled. that we don't need to just stop with clothes and music. So how do we do that? Well, we can scale by our culture, not just where the cash flowing. You know, scaling doesn't always mean, man, franchising or raising millions and millions of dollars. Okay? And then we got to replicate the model. And we want to replicate the model and not the brand. What are you talking about? We got to create templates. We got to create templates or have somebody in our business that can. Playbooks and open source guides to others that they can use. Like what I'm doing, I'm offering you a free module. After I finish explaining this module to you, I'm going to offer it to you for free. Okay? All right. So give me a good example, brother Yahya. Okay, instead of one black-owned coffee shop, create a community-owned blueprint that others can adapt to. Create everything around the coffee shop, not just the coffee. But when people drink coffee, what else do they like to do? Read, huh? Watch the news, read a newspaper. I'm just giving you some ideas of something that you can understand for something that you're going to create brand new. We're not using old models, not unless they tailor to our system, your system, not my system, our system in general. And what is our system? Our system is building a new system, opting out of old systems that don't work for us. Culture, family, as you can see, and you have been seeing, is an asset. And if your business, family, reflects your values, your community will defend and uplift you. Trust me. Culture isn't just marketing. Culture is not just branding. Culture is economic insulation. Economic insulation. Meaning almost bulletproof Teflon. You don't need permission. I tell you this all the time. You don't need no approval from nobody. Not especially from these old institutions. You don't need their approval. The old systems have failed. They have failed black entrepreneurs for decades. It's time to opt out, family. It's time to opt out of these old systems and build something that reflects our needs, our children's needs, our values, our children's values, and your power. You got to start now. You got to start now. Map your business gaps. Map them out. Name them. Write them down. What are the gaps that exist in your community, in our black community? Connect with others who do the same thing. And then begin to build small systems that start to fill those gaps. Don't wait for someone else to do it and then you're like, I should have did that. Yeah, you should have done it. But now someone else is doing it. And now you have to follow the leader when you could have jumped in and did it all along. You had the idea, you had the plan, you had the motivation, but you were afraid. Afraid that your people would not accept you. But your people will accept you. They ready for something better than what we have in place right now, which is not our own. And share. Share what you learn with people that want to learn what you know. Because when we build new systems, we don't just survive, we win. Now, I'm going to give you some different resources that I want you to go take a look at. Okay? We're going to start with some books I want you to go and read. One is called Collective Courage by Jessica Gordon Nimbar. Collective Courage. Read that one, and I'll have another one for you next week. Okay? I want you to go check out this site called fundblackfounders.com. Fundblackfounders.com. Look up communitywealth.org. Communitywealth.org. Now, if you're a nonprofit business, some of the tools that you can use is like Google Workspace, Lumio, collaborative decisions, I think it's called, or collaborative decision making. Yeah. Open Collective. And this Open Collective is a transparent funding. Okay. And Lumio is more on the collaborative side. So go and check those out. All right. And let me know if the information that I gave you helped you out. Now, I'm going to tell you why this matters. Let's be honest. The economy has not been fair to us, especially if you're black and you're trying to start something for yourself. Banks say no. Big companies say no. They take and don't give back. People talk about opportunity, but the doors is closed and locked, man. So what we supposed to do? We got to stop waiting. We will stop waiting, and we have stopped waiting. We learn how to build systems of our own. Systems that work for us, by us, and then we guide others how to do the same thing. You might say, well, what's wrong with the old system? I'm not having any problems out of it. Before we mix, something, we have to see what's broken. Where do I start? There's so many money problems in this system. It's hard for us to get loans. I just told you that. Banks often don't trust small black businesses. It's high interest rates when we do get something. Even if we do get a loan, they charge more than we usually see them charge non-black people. Most of our money goes to places that don't give it back to us. We spend our money and it don't stay in our community but 6 seconds. Think about that. Where do you get money for your ideas then, Brother Yahya? Are you depending on people or places that don't support you? You have to ask yourself. We rent everything. Homes, shops, and even tools that we got. That means we spend money, but don't build no wealth. So if we stop working, the money stops too. And that just ain't no good. We got to find ways to own what we use. Not alone, but together. We have to do this collectively. Most of the business tips and help that's out there, it don't even reach us. our community. We don't always get mentors, guides, or inside advice. We don't always get that. There is a select few who get lucky. But ask yourself, what did you have to learn the hard way? Now think about this. What if others didn't have to do that? That don't excite you? It excites me because I know if I know something of value that I can give to someone who doesn't know it, and I see, some water, some plant, but only God will give the increase. I see God give the increase. Man, that's a wonderful feeling. Wonderful feeling, family. So we have to think like system builders. A system is more than a single business. It's how things connect and support each other. Okay? And if you build a t-shirt brand, don't stop there. Can you partner with a local, screen printer shop? Work with black photographers? Would you do that? For your website. Selling local black owned stores, shops? Would you do that? You're not just running a hot hustle. You're building something bigger than you even know yourself. But if you step out on this and just try it, we got to have new rules for a new system. Old systems compete, man. They're competitive with each other. And because they're competitive with each other, they climb the ladder to the top all alone. And then they fight for the scraps. New systems, they team up with other systems. They build trust with other systems, and they share their resources with other systems for the benefit of the economy that they're trying to build. So don't be afraid to work together. Be very, very afraid to work alone. One of the best ways to build power is to build together. That's called cooperative. Cooperatives. Okay? And like I said, a cooperative is a business that a group of people own together. Everyone runs it and everyone gets paid fully. Now I can show you how, if one of y'all has business R, one of y'all has business B, one of y'all has business C. When y'all come together, you don't have to still be under business R or business B or business. Y'all come together, now y'all can create business X. And this business X is a brand new business, even though y'all have your own separate entity, right? Yeah, there's different ways of going about it with cooperatives. A group of drivers who own their own delivery service. So three of us, me, my brother, and my cousin, we all driving, and we deliver whatever it is that we deliver. I've got T-shirts. My cousin has cologne, and my brother has, I don't know, whatever, something else. But all three of us, we operate this delivery truck, and we breaking down everything together. The responsibility, the bills, and the success. Okay? A few chefs sharing a kitchen and selling meals under one name. That's what I'm talking about. Cooperatives. Artists selling together and splitting the profit, splitting the costs. How to start small. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. You don't need no big old team. I told you that. You need 2 to 5 people who trust each other. Now, I'm going to leave this in the comment section. So I appreciate you, family, for tuning in. I want you to pick a goal. You're going to make an agreement. And you're going to put in something. Okay? What services or products will you offer to somebody to cooperate with, to be a cooperative with? Then you're going to make an agreement with them. Who does what? When they're going to do it? How much it's going to cost? How much they're going to make? How do you split the money? And then you're going to put in something. What am I putting in? You're going to put in your time. You're going to put in your money. And you're going to put in your skill. All three of them are valuable to everyone that you want to become a cooperative with. Everyone contributes. And everyone grows. And everyone shares responsibility. And I want you to stay open, all three of you. Talk things out and make decisions together. Okay? There's new ways to get money, man. If banks say no, we still got options. We don't have to beg them for nothing. I told you we've got crowdfunding, money circles, we've got community investors we could go. So there's all types of ways that we can do this. But we have to be transparent with the people. We have to be real with the people. We can't scam the people. We have to tell the people how the money helps the community and what we're doing and the benefits and the goals. We have to tell them. It's not just for us. You know? And you need your own tools. You need your own website. You need collected emails from customers. So it's not such a hassle to reach them. You have your newsletters. We're going to talk about that. But we're learning basic tech skills. Or trade with someone who does. You're going to have to incorporate to grow. Okay? Be ready for anything. Be ready for anything. Be ready for anything. Be ready for anything in business. Be ready. Be ready. Okay? Okay. Because COVID showed us that business needs backup plans, baby. So you better have an offline plan just in case Wi-Fi shut down, power shut down. You know, teach your team. Teach them how to run things without you, just in case you get sick, you have a wreck, you have an accident, or you have to be out of town. You know, and you don't want to depend on the one income stream. You don't want to depend on that. And you want to grow without selling out. You don't want to sell our people out to grow. Growth is like this. Create a system that others can copy in their city. Share how you did it. Don't keep it to yourself. Ain't no benefit in keeping nothing like this to yourself. And make it easy for them to understand. Make it easy for them to follow your model. Keep your culture strong. That's what people come for. That's why people listen. Real growth, more ownership, not just more money. Okay? You don't need permission. I tell you this every day. You don't need no permission. You've already got permission from God to go and build. You don't need a rich investor. You don't need banks to believe in you. You don't need that. You don't need someone's approval to start something powerful. You just need yourself, God, and you need those that are like-minded that want to go into business with you. You need a good idea. You need people you trust. You need a plan to work together. Build it, test it, grow it, and share it. That's how you do this. That's how you do this. The system isn't going to fix itself. It's not. It's on its way out. But we don't have to wait for that. We can go ahead and build our own. So thank you, family. I really do appreciate you for tuning in. This has been another wonderful live with your brother Yahya with Buried in a Shallow Grave. And family, I will be seeing you soon. But until then,